Right now, we're passing through the town of Middlesboro, Kentucky, which is near the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. And this area of land, the historians tell us, was created by a meteorite hitting the Earth and creating a crater area, which later the city of Middlesboro was built here. One of the noteworthy facts about Middlesboro, if anybody remembers $6 Million Man, Lee Majors, this was the town that he was born in. It's a little bit of trivia for you. We're headed towards the Cumberland Gap area. We're getting ready to leave Middlesboro, and soon we'll be coming into the Cumberland Gap National Park area. And as you can see, the park starts very soon after exiting the city limits of Middlesboro. And this exit ramp takes you actually to the park. You can see in the background there, which overlooks where Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia come together. Kind of a corner there, and overlooking the Cumberland Gap. So we're going to travel up that road, and as we're traveling, we'll look at the scenery. And this is an early spring day in March, probably a couple days after the official start of spring. As you can see, a few of the trees are starting to bloom out. The grass is greening up. Some of the trees are starting to put out leaves. And this road is kind of a winding road, and it kind of starts into a steep incline in about a mile or so here. We're getting ready to go under these two bridges. This is Highway 25E. This was the highway we were on coming through Middlesboro, and which goes on through Cumberland Gap into Tennessee. So now we've gone under it. Now we're starting up the incline, heading on into the area that leads to the overlook. Also, we're starting to get into the curvy areas of the road, and tends to get even more switchback type curves as you go along towards the top of the mountain. But unfortunately, as you'll see here in a moment, they have the road closed, and we'll have to turn around and head back towards the visitor center. And the reason they have it closed off is because of the ice storms we had in this area of the country, and several other states back in February. And I guess it done some damage up on the mountain, I guess trees down and different things, but hopefully they'll get that open soon, and we'll be able to come back up here and shoot some footage, and y'all be able to see the overlook. But right now we're going to be turning around. Okay, gonna be closed all day or?
Oh, I'll be closed till next week.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this: as early as this week, it could possibly be open. Keep checking with the park.
Okay.
They'll know.
So is this?
There's a large truck coming down right now. Anyway.
Go through the tunnel.
Now we're coming back to the visitor center area, and we're going to drive through there and let y'all get a look at the visitor center. This visitor center is really nice. They have a lot of historic artifacts in there, and they have a theater where you can watch a short movie. I think it's maybe 20 minutes long. Tells some history about the Gap, about Daniel Boone, and Cumberland Gap, of course, is the area that was opened up by the pioneers back in the mid 1700s as a way for people from the East Coast states to come west. And Kentucky was one of the first states they came through the Cumberland Gap. And one of the first permanent settlements west of the Allegheny Mountains was Harrodsburg, Kentucky, settled in 1774. And also there's Boonesboro, Fort Boonesboro, which was settled along about that time, but it didn't become a permanent settlement until a few years afterwards. But there's a lot of history of Daniel Boone in this area. Him and several other pioneers that paved the way for westward expansion from the original 13 colonies. So now we're going to get back on Highway 25E and head towards the Cumberland Gap Tunnel.
Let's going downhill.
No, we're not going downhill. We're not. We're just going under.
The bridge and say wee. What is it?
Dad, you're forgetting the Lord.
Now, as we come to the end of the tunnel, brief history. This was built about 15 or 20 years ago to replace a road that went over the mountain that was kind of winding and slow, made for slow travel. But this 2 or 3 mile long tunnel has really opened it up and made it a much quicker trip to cross the border between Kentucky and Tennessee. Now, as we're exiting the tunnel, we're coming into the state of Tennessee. And we're going to take this first exit here towards Cumberland Gap, Tennessee. Small town right here next to the Gap. We'll go down and check that out. And this area here is, if you keep going another mile or so, you'll get into Virginia state line. But we're going to take this left here and go into the town of Cumberland Gap. And if you'll notice there, these are dormitories for Lincoln Memorial University, which is located in Harrogate, Tennessee, which is only a couple miles from Cumberland Gap. Now you can see the actual town of Cumberland Gap coming into view. We'll be passing under this overhead walking bridge that resembles an old-fashioned covered bridge, and there's a couple of those here in town that are attached to a walking trail that goes around the town. And there's a whole lot of historic buildings around this town. A lot of antique shops and restaurants, coffee houses, ice cream shops. It's really a pretty neat place to just come down and wander around and get a coffee or get a sandwich. And in the background there, you'll see the mountain that at the top of that is where the historic overlook is, which we weren't able to see today, but hopefully on our next trip we'll be able to do that. So we're just going to kind of loop around here, and there's a pretty neat older home there. Nice architecture. And right up this street here is an iron furnace, which you can pull in there. They have a parking area and probably some picnic tables, and you can go hike up to that and check out the iron furnace if you choose to do that. But I think we're going to head on to the park there in Harrogate and play and have a picnic.
Do some
Now, here we are at the park, and the kids are having a fun time on the merry-go-round and just playing and having a good time, just being kids this lovely spring day. And we just really enjoyed ourselves. Kids enjoyed themselves and had a good time and good exercise and family fun. And we appreciate y'all joining in and viewing our day here, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, look at all this fun. Doesn't it make you want to swing as well? Indeed. Good thing nobody's falling out of their swings. That would be honestly and dreadfully painful. Do not jump out of your slings like that, because, well, unless you're really good at it, it must be dangerous.